So reinforcing language skills through wikis and podcasts. Actually, a few years ago, I got a small grant from what used to be TLTC, Teaching and Learning Technology Center. That's now CITL. To purchase audio recorders, digital audio recorders like this one. Several of them for the different African languages that we teach. We teach languages from West Africa, about 4, and then East Africa and South Africa. So, we applied for the grant, and we got this to record students doing different language skills. So here I use language skills through wikis and podcasts, focusing on the language standards and skills. So the language standards, we have 5 national foreign language standards, but we focus on these 3 for this particular project. Communication, which is presentation of skills, speaking and writing, narrating using extended discourse. We encourage our students from lower levels, but this project I did it on Swahili for advanced level, 3rd year class. But we also encourage them. I'm teaching an intermediate level class, and when I encourage my intermediate level students to do the same. So narrating using connected discourse. Interpretive skills, part of communication, which is reading and listening. And interpersonal skills, face-to-face or online. Online using on the course management site. It can be synchronic or asynchronic. Synchronic can be like chatting, the tool for chat. Asynchronic using the wiki. Culture, like cultural practices, especially through storytelling. And comparison, how we do storytelling in the target language and in the students' own language. So we use the wiki tool on ONCOURSE, and now we have to learn how to do this on Canvas, right? Yes. So we use the ONCOURSE, and we tell stories, students and teachers. But first, I do an example, and the students listen to me, and then they also write their own story, and we use wiki and integrate visuals in the wiki, and also put in the sound. They record their stories by beginning with the ritual, paukwa, and the others say pakawa. So the storyteller will say paukwa, and I don't know exactly what it means, but people just say paukwa. Maybe it could be, it will happen, and then pakawa. I know that it means then it happened. So pakawa, then it happened. So something was supposed to happen, maybe paukwa means that, and then pakawa, it happened. So that's the ritual of telling stories, that they learn how to do that. They also compare how they tell stories in their own language communities. Like once upon a time, you usually do that in English. So we use the wiki and integrate the wiki tool here as one of the tools for the site setup. And then each student will have their own wiki page, and I also have my own wiki page, and we'll visit each other. So the main thing about wiki is also collaboration. Collaboration is important. So I post my wiki by recording my story, and also I write the text and put it there. Students read, and also they are able to listen. So that's they are practicing their interpretive skills. Then students write comments, and we'll see a little bit of their comments. And then there's a discussion in class. So what I did is with the recording, and then I used Audacity. I attended a workshop with CITL on Audacity, how to use it, and then I can combine different things. It took a while for me to learn, but I learned it. And then like there will be some kind of background music. I will look for music or songs that the students like. So here, we will very briefly see here. You put it to sleep? Too loud? So that's like the background music. And then they'll hear paukwa pakawa. Where did it go? Okay, I went back. can hear my voice. So this story actually. This actually is about the first day of my school. Like, we talk about experiences in our lives. So first day when I was 6 years old, I still remember that because I didn't know that I had two names. So at home I was called Husena, and then at school I was called Alwiya. So here it's called Husena ni wewe. So this is the story I told in Swahili, and they went and listened. Like when I was they were calling my name, like when they were doing roll call, Alwiya Omar. I didn't know any of those three names. And then someone who knew my family came and said, Husena anyway, because everybody called me Husena. And nobody explained to me that you are Alwiya when you go to school. So that's the day I learned. So my first day of school, I always remember. So those kind of things I want students to remember and talk about them and write about them. So this is my story. And then this is on my wiki page. So it's like hadithi zangu, my stories, and that's my wiki page. And then students will come and comment. So those are all comments from students. They went in and commented. Oh, I also, someone is called Chad, but his real name is Robert. So he connected with my story, Chad. And then the other person also talked about growing up in Burundi with a different name, and then coming here, they used their last name from his birth certificate. So they were connecting their own lives with their instructor's life and each other's life. So you can see the name of Chad Lillis is actually Robert, and then and Amina has another name, another last name. And then the students also tell their story and they record them. So here is the story by one of the students. I didn't put the background. So there he started with Paukwa and everybody else Pakwa. So it's all in Swahili, so we'll start. So he's telling a story about going to Tanzania at Lake Tanganyika, and he had visuals, and he put the visuals. So the others will go and read and listen also, because there's a recording, and then they'll also put their comments in there. So this is part of it, storytelling, which is connecting, telling us each other their stories and telling them using the culturally appropriate way of telling stories. Another example of talking and using narration, extended discourse is current events. Actually, my students in the intermediate level, I asked them from the beginning, what is it that we want for us to do in this class? They said, we want to talk about current events. So this is one project that I'll be using this semester also, in addition to story, with my intermediate level. So reinforcing interpersonal communication, they come to class, they talk to each other about what they heard internationally, nationally, or locally, and then reinforcing their presentational communication. So each student will give a report by talking to the rest of the class. And what I'd like to do is have maybe 3 or 4 students work together, and now they have iPads and iPhones. They can record instead of just using this audio recorder. They can use their iPhone or iPads and record their current events. And then also, if they want to put background music, there will be at the beginning there'll be a summary of who is talking about what. That's what I did with my advanced class. I collected all the recordings from the beginning of the semester, so we have a track of performance from the beginning of the semester to the end, and students can track their performance. So here, maybe very quickly, I will just so this. Again, they provided with the music that for us to put with the news. Usually, that's what happens when you listen to the news in the radio. There'll be some background music, and then there'll be then I did an introduction. Who is talking about what? And the sports. And one of the students talking. So this is like I had the beginning and then at the end. But the important thing is keeping track of the performance. Students themselves can what at the beginning, how are they at the beginning, and how are they at the end of the semester. And then through the grant, we were told to collect all these into one space. And so this is the space. That's the IU portal there, Podcast IU. We have all these examples of the current events that the student recorded from the beginning of the semester to the end. And then we can use this as an example actually of the lower levels or the other students who are continuing. They can go listen, like for my intermediate students that I'm teaching this semester, they can go, I can give this as a reference, they can go listen, and then they can do their own recordings. So I think I'm done.